how do you handle the culture of like doing burnouts and stuff and like car meets and stuff? Like, have you seen that kind of like? Have you had to deal with that um, with kind of your events and like how do you handle someone that is like that, where they're kind of just doing donuts out in the
Yeah,
parking
I
lots and
mean,
stuff
I've
like that?
had it affect me in more ways than one. I mean, a couple years, like last year, I
Yeah.
believe, I was leaving a caffeine and octane meet and was just in my race car and it was raining. And these things aren't always exactly tuned for drivability. So I was like putting around and like took a real sharp turn and then it like high rev because it was cold and then a cop pulled me over saying that I was like doing burnouts and donuts and I was like, hold on, I didn't like I stayed in my lane. I have this welded diff. It's a winter's quick change. It doesn't like the wheels don't turn like that without screeching, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so that really sucked. But I mean, it's a constant thing. I mean, even at the local track, people coming to the track and watching people drift all day. And really, it's $100. They could have came out there and killed all the tires they had, but they want to do a donut or a burnout pulling out of the racetrack. It's really
Yeah.
disrespectful in a lot of ways. You know, honestly, I want to have like a wall of shame at the track where we, write down their tag number or their take a picture of their car and
Yeah.
post it up on this wall of shame and say, "Don't be an idiot." You
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
That'd be
some makes me feel a bit like a boomer, but and then you have these same people that want to partake in that stuff. They never want to come to the racetrack. So it's like, dang, you can't win it either way. You know, you try and give them the opportunity to say, hey, come out to the racetrack and just do it here. And they're like, oh, that's not fun. And it's like, what do you mean?
Because it's
I
legal.
talked to
Like
I talked
Yeah,
to a
because you
takeover kid
cannot
at
go to
Caffeine and
jail. It's not
Octane
fun.
once.
you
Yeah.
Like, I
did.
remember when I turned 21, I stopped drinking. Is it like that for you?
So,
But
I
it's
talked to a kid at Caffeine and Octane once, and he had a Hellcat, and he's like he does takeover stuff because I had a sim there, and he was like, "Oh, can you do like no hezzy on the sim?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can," but it's just like he's like, I'm like, "Why don't you ever go to the track?" He's like, "Man, it's too expensive." I'm like, "Dude, it's $100 at Lanier. Just go to Lanier." You know?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, but I'll go do donuts and street drift, and it's like, bud, you're gonna get a ticket and pay 10 grand versus $100 in a night. Like, what's the problem with you? You know, like
yeah.
I don't know.
that's crazy. I mean,
And you learn so much more one day at the track than you will 10 years on the street.